we're living under a pandemic. This is an international phenomenon, and it is testing and trying humanity, and especially the Muslims. We are under, I believe, a special test with our faith. We're under the test that we need to look at ourselves and our practices. Is our Islam based upon rituals? Is it based upon praying in a building? Is it based upon certain gatherings? Or is our faith universal, dynamic, flexible? Is it something that we can take to any part of the world and live in any circumstances? In looking at the masjid, the Prophet ﷺ actually has told us, he said that the earth was made for me as a masjid and a place of purity. So anywhere you find a place, a believer, you can pray. So we pray in masjid buildings. We pray outside. We pray on the ocean. We pray on the mountains. There's a flexibility. You pray standing, in prostration, in sitting. You pray when you're well. You pray when you're sick. That is a crucial concept to us, that our faith is dynamic. It can help us overcome any obstacle. The second point is in our relationship to the Book of Allah. The Quran itself, which is the last testament. Do we really believe in this book? Or is it just a book of tilawah that you read or that you put on the shelf or that you hang around your neck? We need to fully believe in the book. We not only read it, we reflect upon it, and we implement it. We live the verses that Allah has revealed to us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed in Surah At-Talaq in the second and third ayahs, the second and third verses. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا. Allah has revealed, and whoever has the consciousness of Allah, then Allah will make a way out for him and provide for him from where he knows not. And whoever depends upon Allah, then Allah will be sufficient. Surely Allah will reach His purpose, and He has made a limit to all things. This is a very important section of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because when we look at our situation today, the pandemic and the fear that's in the land and the people dying, it is telling us clearly, showing us two concepts, the taqwa and tawakkul ala Allah. And that is the consciousness of Allah, that we fear and Allah and hope in the mercy of Allah, and dependence upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in looking at taqwa, looking at the concept of al-khawf and fear, fear is that knowledge or that belief that something coming to us is going to harm us. And so you see an animal and you know that that is a predatory animal. And so you fear the results because that animal will tear you apart. And so fear then comes in to the heart of the believer or the person and can have devastating impact. That fear is good for a sinner, because if the person is committing sins, then they need to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They need to fear the punishment of the next life. But the opposite, which is the balance of taqwa, is hope. For the believer, it's a balance between fear and hope. And that hope is in the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is the type of shield, the spiritual shield that Allah gives us. The second point is that it is tawakkul ala Allah. Because taqwa, remember, if you have taqwa, it will give you a makhraj. It'll give a way out from a place you don't know. So that taqwa, that consciousness of Allah, can help us in the circumstances that we're in. And Allah can help us from a place that we don't even know. The second point is to depend upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the concept of tawakkul. And this concept the scholars have looked at, and it's a very important point for us, because Tawakkul is really made up of three pillars. One is knowledge, and the second is the state of tawakkul, and the third are the deeds emanating from the tawakkul or the dependence itself. The knowledge is the knowledge of the divine oneness. The more we understand the omnipotence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more we understand His names, His descriptions, and the power that Allah has over all things, that there is no atom on earth, there is no virus, there is no plant, nothing that can do anything without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more we understand this, this is really the foundation of our dependence on Allah. But also coming out of this is a state that we are in. And so when we have that understanding of the divine oneness, it should leave us in a state of dependence. And so literally what is happening with the coronavirus is that by depending upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the balanced way of the believers, then we depend upon Allah, but we remove the harm. We protect ourselves. We take precautions, take all the precautions, and then depend upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because ultimately speaking, Allah is the controller of all affairs. And we need to submit to Him, to turn to Him, and to ask Allah Azza wa Jal to help us in these difficult moments. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. May Allah protect us from the evil that is around us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our children. May Allah protect our homes. May Allah neutralize any of the negative viruses and bacteria and microbes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that comfort that if we are struck by the virus, that Allah would protect us, that Allah would raise us in health. And if He takes our life, He would give us the reward of shaheed, of a martyr in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah make this state that we are in to change the ummah, to bring us together, to end the wars that we are in, and to give us a new consciousness that we can come out of this as true believers and under the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, getting the best in this life and the hereafter. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ وَادْخِلْنَا الْجَنَّةَ مَعَ الْأَبْرَارِ يَا عَزِيزُ يَا غَفَّارُ يَا رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. I leave you with this. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi